Here's the thing. We do have weight classes for a reason. And if Terence Crawford was moving up to fight David Benavidez, who has a longer reach, who is 6'2", and just probably too much mass to overcome regardless of skill set, I would say that that's far-fetched. But in a Canelo Alvarez situation, you have to understand these two guys are the exact same height. You have to understand that Terence Crawford actually has the reach advantage. He has the speed advantage. We don't see Terence Crawford being outboxed by Canelo. The only way we see Canelo winning this fight is by knockout. Okay? Everybody who see Canelo winning this fight is by knockout. And if it's not by knockout, then Terence Crawford would have to cower the way that Jamil Charlo did and just run the whole fight to avoid the knockout. Be relatively inactive to avoid getting punched. But if he's there and he's fighting his game and he's breaking down tape, there are openings that he can take advantage of. Again, a guy like Floyd Mayweather already beat Canelo, who was 42 fights in, by the way. You know, they're trying to make it like Canelo was just this super green fighter. He had 40-some fights when he lost to Floyd Mayweather. He had been a professional for several years. And he was in his physical peak. He was 20-some years old. He probably was in better shape then than he is now. Okay? Terence Crawford's path to victory is the exact same path that Floyd Mayweather took. Do not let the heavier fighter, the harder puncher, set his feet. Keep turning them. Keep them off balance. Stay sporadic. Throw the jab here. Clinch there. Move out of the way here. Use your speed to your advantage. Canelo Alvarez would have the exact opposite approach. Attempt to time the faster fighter. Attempt to corner the faster fighter and land your heavier blows. But that's it. That's the difference. We're not talking about some guy jumping up 2 or 3 weight classes and fighting somebody who's that much bigger than him. We're talking about a guy that's fighting someone the same height. We're talking about a guy that's fighting someone with shorter arms. We're talking about a guy that's fought someone who has also came from the smaller weight class. Maybe not as small as Terence Crawford, but he moved up to that point. It's not like Canelo was at this weight class his entire life or his entire career. He moved up and his power carried up. So who's to say that when Terence Crawford, even though he's not going to take the time to get acclimated to the weight, but who's to say when he moves up, his punching power is not that much better? Who's to say when he moves up that his punch resistance is not that much better? I mean, he's not cutting into muscle. He's not killing himself to make weight. These things matter. And he has a very intelligent camp. And the guy is skilled. He has every tool in his bag. Erslan Delore was able to stay on the outside and make it a very close, to some people, a controversial fight with Canelo Alvarez. Austin Trout was able to make it very close. Some people think was a controversial fight with Canelo Alvarez. Both of these guys were pretty slick lefties, and I think Terence Crawford is more talented than both of them. For one, he's a natural right hand, and he has a much harder jab than both of these guys. So it's very possible that this fight will be competitive. I'm not writing this fight off simply because Canelo Alvarez is much heavier. Terence Crawford has just as good as a chance as anybody else to beat Canelo Alvarez, despite the fact that we have weight classes for a reason. Look at what Alexander Usyk was able to do with Anthony Joshua. Alexander Usyk was the undisputed champion at cruiserweight, which means at one point he was weighing in under 200 pounds. Around this time, Anthony Joshua was already in the 240s. Anthony Joshua has the longer arms. Anthony Joshua was taller. Even when they weighed in for the fight, I believe Anthony Joshua was 19 pounds heavier or 20-some pounds heavier. And guess what happened? Alexander Usyk went in there, and with his speed, he was able to win. because you only got to win 7 out of 12 rounds on 2 or 3 judges' scorecards and not get knocked down. And that's exactly what he did. In fact, he won more than that. But that's what he did. He used his speed, he used his combinations, and he simply outpointed Anthony Joshua. He didn't allow him to set his feet. He countered him when he needed to. He wrapped up when he needed to. He fought an intelligent fight, and he fought the bigger guy. That was a bigger task than what Crawford is doing, because Crawford at least has the reach advantage, and they're the same height. So it can be done. Now, maybe because it's heavyweight, we don't count it as moving up weight classes. But now we got a guy in Usyk who's attempting to go undisputed against Tyson Fury, who is 6'9". This guy's weighed in as heavy as 270. Mind you, Usyk a couple years ago was just fighting under 200 pounds. Or at least weighing in under 200 pounds. So yes, weight classes matter. But in this instance, just like with Usyk, an undisputed champion, an extremely talented fighter, he was able to do some things that a normal fighter of his caliber, a normal smaller fighter, wasn't able to do. And I see Terence Crawford having a similar success. And again, I'm not saying he would win. I'm just not writing him off. I'm out.